So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Mind Boost episode number 8. I'm very happy to see you again, or to kind of be seen by you once again, or heard by you if you're listening on Spotify. As always appreciate your support and your feedback and your time. Most importantly, really means a lot to me. And most importantly, I really hope the stuff that I'm doing, like the content that I'm putting out, is helping you in a way or another. I mean, that's my biggest goal and my biggest vision with all these things that I'm doing. But anyway, so in today's episode, I guess you have seen the title, 0 to 30K a month, something like that probably. I mean, I'm not sure yet how I will name this episode, but I guess something like that, just to make it super catchy and, oh my God. First of all, I have to say, I'm not a big fan of talking necessarily too much about money online in this whole space, because I feel like everyone is doing that, and it always sounds very cliche, like you're like this this online guy doing online business, doing 10k, 20k, 30k, 100k, 200k per month, whatever it might be, and I really don't like that, and that's also one of the reasons why up to this day, pretty much I never really talked about money specifically on my channel and generally speaking with my content, because I truly always wanted to focus on something deeper, on the human mind, on our actions, on our thought processes, this and that, because all those things are, to be quite honest with you, they are like way more important and powerful than talking about I made 5k, 10k, 20k. It's like very kind of boring also to talk about just numbers, and once again I really do believe there's way more to it than just the numbers, but anyways, I still feel like the reason why I actually decided to record this episode today, even though I feel like that, is because still I have the feeling that a lot of people always kind of want or need to see some sort of proof, right? I mean, and this is also kind of understandable, like completely understandable. You always need to see something first in order to believe it, right? So that's also one of the reasons why eventually I decided to record this episode. I also talked with our performance coach at Mind Plus, Carly's. We were talking back and forth, and he was like, you really should record this episode, to show the people you actually achieved things as well, right? So that's pretty much the reason why I really decided to record this episode today. That's it pretty much, So to just jump straight to the point, just like a quick backstory. And I mean, if you haven't heard, other episodes, or if you haven't seen any other content from me, I always wanted to have my own business. I tried a lot of different things. I tried out pretty much every single online business model opportunity that there is. I actually did it. I actually tried it out because I always had this huge dream, this huge dream of being free, of having the possibility to get whatever I want, to get whatever I want to get, to travel to whatever place I want to travel to, pretty much. That was the biggest goal, the biggest motivation that I always had. And I always felt like being my own boss and, having my own business, especially nowadays in this whole online space with all the opportunities, that this actually is the only way pretty much to reach those things that I wanted to reach. So anyways, I tried a lot of different things, and one day, I think I was like, 18 maybe. When I was like 18, I actually started to, get into drop shipping, into running Facebook ads, scaling Facebook ads, this and that. Excuse my voice. Damn, okay. Should be good. So what I was saying, so I got into drop shipping, and I learned, obviously I learned a lot of different things, about Facebook ads, this and that, and I also got to a level of seeing results, generating revenue, right? All those things, but long story short, it wasn't really sustainable. I wasn't really too profitable, made some money, lost some money, this and that. Fast forward, I got into the agency space. I started my own agency, and I started to work with actual, real life clients pretty much. I'm just muting my computer so we aren't getting any notifications and distractions. So I got into the agency space because I felt like I want to work with real life people, to actually help real businesses, solve problems, make more money, this and that. So I was focusing on that, and for a very, I cannot stress enough about it, for a very, very, very long time, nothing happened, I had this strong belief that, okay, I'm gonna start, I'm gonna reach out, and it is going to work, That's how I felt, that was the way I was thinking about all these things. However, well, what should I say? This wasn't the case. This wasn't the case. And it was pretty frustrating back in the day. I can remember it very, very good, because I was putting in a lot of work, and also because of all the online videos and content in general online, it felt so easy. Before I started, I felt okay, if I'm not completely stupid, it will work. It has to work, right? But it didn't. So I struggled for a very, very long time because, keep in mind, I was doing exactly the same thing as every single other person, pretended to do at least. And still nothing was really working out, So obviously I fell into a very, very dark hole in a way. I was feeling miserable, right? I was feeling miserable. Actually, my mom was, starting to worry a lot about me because I was always a pretty, happy person, I would say, even though a lot of things happened in my past. I was still a very happy and, positive person, like in most cases, back in the day. But when I was in this position, I kind of, fell off, and my mom and my friends and my family also, they really started to worry about me, right? Because they've seen me, being sad, miserable, and sometimes they haven't even seen me, right? Because I didn't want to meet them or like whatever. And this, this was going on for a pretty long time, for a few months, right? And I think it's the most difficult thing, like the thing that sucks the most is, and I think, if you're listening or like watching right now, and if you are in this whole space yourself, you will probably relate, I guess. I was doing all those things, and then I've seen other people coming into this whole business, starting like, I don't know, 5 months after me, and having like the biggest success, 2 weeks after they started. Seeing that, while being in that position already, in which I was back then, this was like killing me, literally, I was feeling so bad. I was feeling like the biggest loser every single day because, once again, nothing seemed to work out, I thought I was doing the same thing that every other person was also doing, but it didn't work out for me, And I think when you get to that position, you really start to question yourself. You really start to question pretty much everything that you do, your whole life, right? You really start to, think and slowly also believe that maybe you aren't worthy to have those things, And I feel like when you reach that point, it gets very, very dangerous very quickly, because this can literally destroy your whole life, let's be honest. If you really over and over again have this kind of self-image, and if you really think those things about yourself, eventually you will be done with yourself and with life pretty much, So that's very, very dangerous, and you really have to keep that in mind. So anyways, what actually changed, what actually changed? What made me go from being depressed and like, not making anything to eventually, hitting like the 30K month, right? Well, the thing is, it kind of sounds cliche, and always when I was in that position back then, I always was like, yeah, no, not again, not this kind of stuff, not this type of person, telling me to do this and this. But I'm gonna be completely honest with you now. Your outer reality is always a reflection of your inner self. And that is a fact. That is a huge, like the biggest fact, That is a fact. You have to really understand that. Now, looking back, it's not a surprise that nothing seemed to work out, because I was in a position of really being miserable, with myself, like deep down in myself, like within. So obviously nothing seemed to work out, and nothing worked out, because once again, a reality is a reflection of your inner state. And only, I had to really realize a lot of things. And I feel like every single person has to go through something similar, through this kind of awakening phase in a way. It really sounds like woohoo, but that's how it is. You really have to realize some things have to click in your head in order for you to be able to actually get to those levels. That is very, very important. Now for me, I was just overwhelmed with everything, so I decided to just book a ticket to Spain and go to Spain for 1 month straight, just being by myself pretty much. It was scary, to be honest, because I love to travel, don't get me wrong. Like, honestly, I love traveling, but traveling alone was something else. Being on your own by yourself for such a long time in a foreign country, not knowing nobody pretty much, was scary. It was scary, not gonna lie, but I still felt like I need to do that because I was so tired and done, with everything back in my hometown in Vienna, when I was living in Vienna. I was so done with everything, and I felt like no matter what, I need to change something right now in order to be able to change something with my life and with my business especially. So I went to Spain, for 1 month, was there, and that was the period where I really started to realize a lot of things. I really started to change a lot of things mentally, in my head, in my mind, with my thoughts, the way I was thinking about myself and eventually about life itself, And that's also why it is so important, why I tend to talk about all these things, on my channel, with my personal brand, or like with Mind Plus, especially with my educational company, because those things can really make or break you. And I went through those things myself, Now I was in Spain, and I had those moments, those awakenings, those realizations, and I actually really started to enjoy being by myself. It took me like 1 week, I would say. Like the first week was really bad. It felt really, really bad. I was feeling alone. Nothing seemed to work out. Like, I was trying to get into a happier state, but it didn't work out, right? Because I was still kind of the old self, the old person, the old Adam pretty much, that I was still back in Vienna as well, and it didn't work out. But after the first week, I kind of get used to it, and then I actually started to change those things, I started to really, really have like crazy, like heavily focusing on myself, really going very, very, very deep into myself, into my thoughts, really kind of, flipping over every single thought that I had, and analyzing it and really understanding everything that was going on in my head. And yeah, I mean, fast forward, to this day pretty much, the main message that I really want to, give to you with this episode, if you are listening or watching right now, and if you are in a similar position maybe that I was in back then, when nothing was working out for me, if nothing, if you really feel like you put in every single thing that you have, like you put all your energy and focus into your business, like into the one thing that you want to have success with, and if nothing seems to work out, then take a break. Stop wasting your time and your energy and your focus on this thing if clearly nothing seems to work out. Stop trying to find a solution in your surroundings and actually start to find solutions within yourself, That's really what I would recommend you to do right now if you're in that position, because that was the thing that really changed a lot of things for me, That is the thing that really changed, my life and, myself being like this, broke teenage guy having a dream and wanting to make it, finally happen pretty much, to actually reaching those goals, working with clients, making money every single month, reaching the 30K, for example, right? Which, by the way, was like a crazy, also experience for me, like hitting those numbers, right? Because I was never used to these amounts of money, right? But once again, I only was able to get to this point. I cannot stress enough about it because I changed myself, because I worked on myself first. I became a new person pretty much, I created a new identity, and then it actually became my reality in real life, And obviously there's like a lot to this whole thing, to personal development, to really mastering your mind in a way, to really brainwashing your mind as well in a way, to actually reaching those levels, to actually being able and actually being ready to reach those levels, of success, of abundance, of wealth, happiness, and all those things that you might want to have, right? And that pretty much, to fast forward even more, is why, I created Mind Plus, to show other people that have been going through the same stuff that I was going through, what they need to do, what helped me, what changed things for me. I want to show that to other people because I genuinely, I got to a point where I was making the money, but the money alone, it wasn't, bringing me any happiness, Sure, I got some things that I wanted to get, but yeah, this fades pretty quickly, So I actually wanted to do something way more meaningful. And that's why I started Mind Plus, helping other people. And, looking at all the members right now, like inside of the community, inside of Mind Plus, this is exactly what is happening for other people as well, People that have been struggling a lot, people that have, that haven't seen any success with business or even with their whole life, to actually, reaching crazy numbers right now, to actually having breakthrough moments with life, with business, family, relationships, health, body, all those things, because they did, what I kind of, experienced myself and what I kind of, teach them in a way, So that's why it is so important to work on those things, to really understand those things. And I mean, just to give you a quick example for example, yeah. Our members literally generate millions, millions of euros. I'm not kidding. I'm talking about literally millions. I'm not talking about 10K, 20, 100K. I'm talking about millions of euros, because they changed some things in their head, because they changed the way they thought, they acted, they felt, they changed themselves, they became a new person. With all the things that we talk about inside, of the modules and the live calls and the community, all those things. And also, just another thing that I really find interesting, not talking about business right now, money, purely our performance coach, Carlos, for example, amazing guy, crazy guy, 18-year-old guy, multiple national champion, pro athlete. He literally, I think 3 days ago, he won again, he became the national champion once again. Why? I mean, let's be honest, there are a lot of people that are very, very fit, in very, very good shape, that really, look after their nutrition and every single thing, right? But still, they don't make it. Why? Because of their mind. Your mind literally can change everything for you, And that's exactly how it is with business. There are so many people that they aren't smarter than you, people that actually, let me put it in a different way. People that are very smart, people that know what they want, right? People that actually put in the work, but it doesn't work out for them. It's not because they're stupid or whatever. It's because of their mind in 99.9% of the times. It's because of how they look at themselves, how they look at their life, how they feel about themselves, this and that, all those things. And that's once again why Mind Plus really got, was born pretty much, to share my experience and to show other people like you, for example, right now, maybe watching or listening, that you can do it, and showing you how you can actually do it by not, putting in more work and having to struggle and, being depressed, but instead by, being the happiest and best version of yourself and letting all those things kind of come automatically into your life, because that's how it was for me, that's how I got to this point, from once again, not having anything, in terms of business and success, and not coming from a wealthy family whatsoever, to actually creating those things by myself, at a very young age as well. Because it is possible, and everything it takes pretty much is already inside you. You just need to kind of unlock it, open it up pretty much. And that's why Mind Plus is there, to actually help you open up this thing, to unlock this thing, to get to that next level pretty much. So yeah, that was kind of what I wanted to talk about in today's episode. I really hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, I mean, also, if you really want to learn more about the community, and get a better understanding, the first impression of the community, then feel free to join the Mind Plus Discord server. You can join the Mind Plus Lite group section, whatever you want to call it, with like-minded people. We have, I think 70 people from, all over the world, different age ranges, genders, nationalities, industries, life situations, all those things, all those people in one place. So if you want to join, this community and learn more about Mind Plus, then click the link below. It should be linked. It will take you directly to the Discord. And if you want to, directly join Mind Plus, and kind of be a part of the full, premium community, and also, work with us and, with myself and with our performance coach colleagues to really help you unlock those things and actually get those things that you want to have, without having to finally without having to struggle, then feel free to schedule a free call with me. Link should be also down below. And yeah, with that being said, I think my camera will shut off in like 10 seconds probably. So before that happens, thank you so much for listening or for watching. Make sure to check out all the links, feel free to reach out to me. Make sure to subscribe to this channel. And yeah, I wish you a wonderful day. Everything is possible, you just need to change some things in your head. So, join Mind Plus. Bye-bye.